In this video, we'll discuss sections 1 and 2 of chapter 14 on acids and bases. Let's start with properties of acids and bases. Acids react with metals, bases do not. You can see hydrochloric acid and zinc reacting here in this photo. Acids and bases both react with acid-base indicators such as litmus, although there are many others. And that's what you see here in this photo. Acids will turn blue litmus red, bases will turn red litmus blue. Although we do not taste solutions in the lab, there are many acids you encounter in your everyday life, and they tend to taste sour. Bases will tend to taste bitter. Bases have a slippery feeling to them, like soap. And both acids and bases conduct electricity in aqueous solution. In the photo, we have hydrochloric acid conducting electricity and sodium hydroxide, a base, conducting electricity. Both are strong electrolytes. Now let's discuss different definitions of acids and bases, starting with the Arrhenius model. In the Arrhenius definition, acids produce hydrogen ions or protons when dissolved in water, like with hydrobromic acid here. And bases produce hydroxide ions when dissolved in water, like sodium hydroxide, shown here. The Arrhenius definition requires that the acid or base be dissolved in water. Another model of acids and bases is called the Bronsted-Lowry model. In this definition, water is not required, but certainly could be present. Acids are defined as proton or hydrogen ion donors. Bases are defined as proton or hydrogen ion acceptors. We're going to have a transfer of protons from one reactant to another, from the acid to the base. Once the protons are transferred, the acid becomes what is referred to as a conjugate base. And once the base accepts the protons, it becomes what is referred to as a conjugate acid. Here is an example. We are going to look for conjugate acid-base pairs. So for the hydrochloric acid, we're going to look for, on the product side, a formula that is very similar, but has one more or one less proton, hydrogen ion. In this case, HCl will be paired up with Cl-, the chloride ion. Hydrochloric acid is a proton donor. You can see in the diagram below, it has its proton, but then on the product side, it is missing that proton. So hydrochloric acid is a Bronsted-Lowry acid. It is a proton donor, and its conjugate is referred to as a conjugate base. Chloride is its conjugate base. Water and hydronium make up another conjugate acid-base pair. We go from 2 hydrogens to 3. So water has accepted a proton or a hydrogen ion. Notice the positive charge on the hydronium. So it is a Bronsted-Lowry base. It has accepted a proton. Its conjugate is referred to as a conjugate acid. In the diagram below, once again, you can see 2 hydrogens, and then the conjugate has 3 hydrogens, showing that a proton has been accepted. In a Bronsted-Lowry equation, there will always be one acid and one base on the reactant side, and one conjugate acid and one conjugate base on the product side. In this example, we looked at hydrochloric acid, a strong acid, and you will see that usually represented with just a forward arrow. But we can have weak acids as well. If you remember, strong acids and bases completely dissociate or break apart in water. Weak acids and bases do not. Weak acids can be written as a reversible reaction using this general form where HA represents the weak acid. Its conjugate base, A-, is shown here as the product. Because this is a reversible reaction, we can write an equilibrium expression. For weak acids, the equilibrium constant is called Ka, or the acid dissociation constant. The expression is still products over reactants, but we are not including water in our equilibrium expression as it is a pure liquid. If the equilibrium lies to the right, where there's been a lot of dissociation into ions, the value for Ka is large. We're going to say greater than 1. If the equilibrium lies to the left, where the reactants are, where there hasn't been a lot of dissociation, the value for Ka is going to be pretty small. We're going to say less than 1. Here are some Ka values for some common weak acids. The higher the Ka value is, the stronger the acid is. The lower the Ka value is, the weaker the acid is. Once again, there are no units on these equilibrium constants. The previous table had examples of weak monoprotic acids. Monoprotic means an acid with just one proton. So something like HCl would have just one hydrogen ion or proton. Mono means one. Diprotics would have two, like H2SO4. And triprotic would have three, like H3PO4. Diprotic acids and triprotic acids are under the umbrella of polyprotic acids. So poly, again, meaning more than one. Oxyacids are acids where the proton, the hydrogen ion, is attached to an oxygen atom. So that's why it's called an oxyacid. So something like nitric acid. An organic acid will have a carbon backbone, something like the carboxyl group COOH, shown here, and that would be an acid like acetic acid. We just discussed how stronger acids would have more ionization, so more product produced. The stronger the acid is, the weaker its conjugate base is. And the weaker the acid is, the stronger its conjugate base is. In the diagram on the left, we're looking at a strong acid. We've got complete dissociation or complete ionization. So we don't really even consider the reverse reaction where the ions go back and reform the acid molecule. However, with a weak acid, like shown on the right, we have just one molecule that has dissociated, and we get very little ionization. We can definitely think about this being a reversible reaction where the ions can go back and reform the reactant molecules. In this diagram, we see the relationship between acid strength and the strength of its conjugate base. The stronger the acid, the weaker the conjugate base. The weaker the acid, the stronger the conjugate base. To summarize, with stronger acids, you have a large Ka value because you get a lot of dissociation or ionization. The equilibrium lies far to the right. With truly strong acids, the hydrogen ion concentration or hydronium ion concentration is essentially equal to the initial concentration of the acid. If you start with something stronger, a stronger acid, its conjugate base is going to be much weaker. We won't really even consider the reverse reaction. Compare this with a weak acid where there is not a lot of dissociation or ionization. The Ka is small because there's very little product. The equilibrium, we say, lies far to the left. And the hydrogen ion or hydronium ion concentration is significantly smaller than that of the original concentration of the acid. The conjugate base for a weak acid will be much stronger, and therefore we can think about the reaction going in reverse. Finally, we're going to rank some conjugate bases according to their strength. Let's put them in order, weakest to strongest. So let's first think about what acids they came from. Remember, Bronsted-Lowry acids are proton donors, and then once the acid has donated its proton, what's left is referred to as a conjugate base. So, for example, the fluoride ion is the conjugate base of hydrofluoric acid. Chloride ion is the conjugate base of hydrochloric acid. Nitrate ion is the conjugate base of nitrous acid, and cyanide ion is the conjugate base of hydrocyanic acid. Now, hydrochloric acid is a strong acid, right? That's on our strong acid list. So that means that its conjugate, chloride ion, would be very weak. I'm going to put that as our weakest. Now, looking at the Ka values, the larger the Ka, the stronger the acid is. That means it will have a weaker conjugate base. And then the smaller the Ka value is, the weaker the acid, it will have a stronger conjugate base. Hydrofluoric acid, nitrous acid, and hydrocyanic acid have all been circled here. You can see that the hydrofluoric acid has the largest Ka value, so it is the strongest of those three acids. So that means that its conjugate is going to be the weakest. Next is nitrous acid, and the weakest acid is the hydrocyanic acid, so it will have the strongest conjugate base. So where does the water go? If you remember on the previous slide, when we have a strong acid, the conjugate base is much weaker even than water. So we had one strong acid, hydrochloric acid. Its conjugate base, chloride, is going to be a weaker base than water. So I'm going to slide water in right between the chloride ion and the fluoride ion. So in this video, we discussed acid-base properties, definitions, and then focused on acid strength and Ka values as they relate to ionization. Next up will be pH.